Hi, it's Roni, and welcome to Peace Craft Love's 500 subscriber celebration hop and giveaway. And Anna said you could either scrap lift her or do these 5 pick items: texture paste, stencil, squirrel, coffee, aqua, or some shade of blue. So I decided to go with the pick 5 items this time. There's my squirrel. I've got that one down. It's in my photo. And the coffee cup and the die set's going to be for my coffee. I'm going to use a tiny bit of the Simple Stories Lemon Twist for my cup. I have a bunch of other dies that I'm going to be using. And yeah, I was showing how big that one die set was with all the letters on there. There's 4 of each. And I want to do some mixed media in my background to start with. I thought I'd start out with clouds. And so I've had these cut a long time and used them before. And I thought I'd put some clouds on here. I will adjust them a little bit later after I get pretty much the rest of my mixed media on here. I think maybe all of my mixed media on here because I'll decide it's kind of a little too crisp. But at the moment, this is how I think it's going to go. I'm using Custom Heart Crystal Blue ink for the stenciling on here, and I think I'm only doing 4 clouds. I think one of each. That's what I end up doing on there. Sometimes I do more, but this time that's it. This is bundled sage ink, and then I'm going to use after I get done with it, pill paint. Yeah, pill paint. And then I am going to use one from Close to My Heart. And you will notice it because, it is a little bit bigger stamp pad. And it is Ponderosa Pine. And I'm just trying to make blotches. I like blotches. I like it where the ink wells in there. And yeah, I like to see the different textures and colors. I did think about just kind of inking everything with the brush, but since I like that so much, I went ahead and went with that. And I'm going to warn you all now, this is a fairly long video. I cut a bunch out and still it's a long video. Okay, y'all seen me spray that with water. That's to help get it from looking quite as crisp. And then I'm taking a baby wipe and just kind of rubbing on the edges so that they'll look a little more faded. I forgot to turn my camera on after I let all that dry. And I started without it, but all I did was lay the stencil down. I didn't do anything else. And that stencil is a Tim Holtz one, and I believe it's called Honeycomb. And I am using the bundled sage with it. And my brush. I do love those brushes. They are so much better than a sponge. And they don't tear up. They seem like the sponge would tear up if you used a stencil very much. I am using the blue ink there. Can y'all tell? I did not know I used the blue ink till I was done using it. And I thought, that is not the Ponderosa Pine. But it worked out. It looks fine. Um, this is the dotted fades. I think that's what it's called, dotted fade. And it is a Tim Holtz one. And I'm going to use it twice. I'm going to use it first with my ink. And the second time it's on the list, it said stencil, which I did use several of. And then it also says texture paste. And so I am using, well, it's modeling paste, but same difference. And it's from last week before, and I put the green in, and the green was fine for that color. But this one, it was kind of on the bright side for what I was wanting to use it for. So I added a little bit of black with it. I started to put the black directly on it, but I caught myself. And see that little tiny blotch over there? I used a very, very small amount of that tiny blotch and still had more than enough black to make this a dark green. And I am going to put pretty much close to the same places that I put the original dotted fade, just so that there will be some with background and then some in the foreground. and add some of the texture to the layout. So I have 4 of the 5 items on my layout. I have textured paste, stencil, squirrel, and aqua or some shade of blue. I do have that already. I started to put my picture straight down on the wood grain paper, but then I decided I did want the shadow box. I don't know why, because that was not my original plan, and I should have stuck to my original plan. But I am going to frame it in so that it does look like it's inset, and use some foam tape on the wood grain. And the wood grain that I'm using is by Paper Studio, and it's really heavy. It's only 8.5 by 11, but it's heavy, so it's pretty good to work with. And the foam tape, well, just so y'all know, it's pretty humid here already. It's not even summer yet, and it's very humid here. And it is very sticky. And I'm going to get the picture on straight, I believe, but I am not going to get something else on there straight. And I'm going to wish it was. And it's so humid, there ain't no way I'm going to get it up right now, even with undo. So it's going to stay there a while. I didn't even notice it till I was editing the video. I totally missed it, but boy, it stood out like a sore thumb when it did. I layered 4 pieces of that metallic paper, metals paper. It's metals, it's not metallic, and glued them together. And then I used my heavy duty punch. I forget what it's called. It's been so long, but I still use it because it does come in handy. And I punched out nails for my frame there. I thought about doing it before and then forget about it. So I thought I am going to do it on here. And then I'm going to do a bunch more later. And I'm just going to punch away and then put it on ink pad and press down with some plastic. Although you all aren't going to see that because this video is so long. Because, yeah, I was watching videos and just playing away and not even realizing what all I was doing and how long the video was probably getting. So I did cut that out since y'all see me make these. Well, a couple of these. I am making a railing. That little squirrel is on deck rail. What sold me on this house 37 years ago, I know, that's a long time ago, was the being in the country, being the dead end of a 1 car lane road, and trees and national park all around behind me. Oh, it's nice and quiet here all the time. And the huge deck, I thought, oh man, I can get up early in the mornings, drink coffee. Well, working days I'm working, I couldn't, but I could dream. But on the weekends I could. And since I'm an early bird, on nice mornings, I can go out there and have my coffee. Well, where I live, there's lots of animals. There's squirrels that run along the banister of my deck all the time. It is so fun to see them. I can see them, of course, from the inside of the house because they'll go flashing past the window, and they have to jump the part where the steps are at, and they jump it pretty good. And then there's, of course, deer all the time. One day last week, I was so tickled. A baby fox come up on the deck. I was so excited, I thought I'd take a picture. I'm fumbling with my phone. It jerks its head up and looks at me and goes a-running. So I did not get its picture. It was my fault. I shouldn't have got so excited, but it was so cute. And of course, there's rabbits. Lots and lots of lizards in the summertime. When my kids were small, they were lizards without tails. They were kind of scared of them when we first moved here. And I told them that they wouldn't bite them, they wouldn't hurt them. And the first time they caught one and pulled the tail off, oh, they were all upset. I said, it'll grow back. Lizards' tails grow back. Well, while my kids were at home and little, I rarely seen a lizard with a tail. I was wishing so that I had not told them that. Well, apparently they never told their kids that. I certainly didn't, because I still see them with tails now. Yeah, once my kids outgrew it, I got to see them with tails. So the ones that are going to be on my layout, yes, I'm going to have lizards on my layout. They are going to have tails. I showed you all my tray with all my die cutting because, if I'm not feeling creative but want to do something, I die cut in advance. And these are punches, though. These branches, they're large branch. It's called from EK Success. I forgot to show it, but it's a punch, and so it's pretty quick. You just a lot quicker than a die. So yeah, it's a good handy thing to have. And I did show that one I'm putting glue on right now, and it's pink fresh branch die. And then the rest, I believe, all the rest are from Tim Holtz Greenery. I think it's called Greenery. Um, he has festive greenery for Christmas, and I have it. And but this is the one, garden greenery. That's what it's called. And I've got the older Sizzlet. It's the foot long, but they do have them in thinlets, so you can get them either way. I'm just cutting pieces apart and tucking them in, and I made the lattice look like it's old and worn out. I tore the edges of it and inked the edges really good so that they would look more old and worn out and vintagey. And there's my cup, and it's Stampin' Up, and it's called Cups and Kettles, I believe. And I thought about cutting it out twice, but I didn't have enough paper of what I wanted. So I decided I would ink my handle and make it look darker, like it's kind of around the side of the cup, kind of like it's in shadow. And I took and cut a piece of cardstock and put it along there like a mask, so that it would not ink onto the cup part itself. And the cup, as I said, I used the Lemon Twist by Simple Stories, and I just kind of picked exactly what I wanted. I loved that color. And since it was one of the things we needed on the layout, that's all the more better. I It has a little thing for steam that looks like a heart, and of course I used it. I Last time I used it as a heart on something, I can't remember what, but this time I used it as steam. And I'm just adding to this. And while I'm doing that, I think I might even, yeah, I don't think I do much other than add for a few minutes. So while I'm doing that, I want to mention that down there below will be everybody else that are joining Anna in the hop today. It's Peace, Craft, Love. And she does have a giveaway, so make sure you go to her channel to find out how to get in on the giveaway. I believe it's $25 merchandise out of her store. And check out everybody's links down there below and see what they created if they used one of Anna's um, layouts, which she said she always scrapple if someone. And that we might want the list of five. The five is for the 500, and I believe she might be at 600 by now, because we do plan ahead on these hops so everybody has time to do the layout and the video. And I totally told a story. One of the branches, the one with the leaves on each end, is kind of long and curvy. It is from Memento, and those two birds also are in the die set. And I wanted to use them, and they have kind of like holes on the wings and a hole along the edge of the wing. And so I had to back it to make it more solid, and I inked it in green, and the paper I used is actually textured and patterned. It has flowers and I believe little butterflies on it. Very, very, very small flowers and butterflies. But I inked it in the green, and then I also inked the belly part in saltwater taffy. Not sure if there's any bird that looks like that at all, but I thought I'd go with my layout, so I used creative license while I did it. I used Memory Box for the early morning on my title, and then the Curious Critters, I used Tim Holtz. And the butterflies, they are just some that I've had. I believe they all three came in three different die sets. I do not think they came together. Well, you can tell one for sure didn't, but I think they all three came in different ones. And I thought about putting vellum in the back, which I have, and inked, but I decided to put white instead. So I inked it with the favored color for today and layered it with black, the die cut out in black, and I put three on my layout. Yeah, I started to put that one bird on the post. Well, it's sitting there pretty good, but it's not stuck down. And then I got sidetracked. I thought I'd go ahead and put the other one together and work on the lizards. And the die has a bunch of little holes there so you can have little speckles on the lizard. And I inked all three of them in green, I believe, to start with. And then I decided that the one that's going to go in the middle on that one rail piece across there needed a little bit more ink. I picked up the wrong one. So it's going to be blue and have a blue tail, which a lot of the lizards out here have had. And the one right below it, it's going to end up re-inked. So it can have some blue too, and they can match a little. The other one's a different color, so I didn't ink it in the blue. I was using my tiniest pieces of scrap to do them. And yeah, I couldn't get three out of any of my scraps. So I got two of one color and one of another. But then all the lizards aren't exactly the same out here anyway. Um, I am filling in with the flowers and greenery again. And I'm going to go ahead and put the bird down, and it is on foam tape. And I am actually getting close to getting done. I will be done in a few minutes. Hard to believe, but yeah, I will be in a few minutes. And that's the branch I was talking about, the one I just put in there. It is from Memento, and I probably wouldn't have used it if I hadn't got the birds out. But yeah, I seen it and I thought, well, I haven't used it in a long time, so I'm going to go ahead and cut a few and put it with the rest to use it. It is a pretty one. And I'm putting my other ink in my other lizard a little bit more. Yeah, I used the, no, that's the one I used the blue on. The one I just inked. You can tell it's blue now. And see those blue flowers laying over there? I decided not to use them. I thought about it and then I decided not to. And those are the we got milk, you got milk, you got milk ones. I remembered that in the Simple Stories lemon twist, I had punched out some extra flowers the last time I used it, and I punched out the actual lemon twist paper. And then I put a little dot in the middle. I used EK Success Tiny Flower for it, and the dot in the middle is my 1/8 inch punch. And I'm going to put them around in the greenery. And I thought, man, I don't have a cluster here. And so while I was pulling the flowers out, I couldn't resist pulling some other stuff out too. So I've got Admit One, and it's on the ticket. And then I've got Good Vibes and Love This Most. And so, like I said, it sold me on the house. And I do like sitting out there and having my coffee. Of course, years ago I'd have a book, maybe. But now I have my iPad. So times have changed in 37 years. And although we've had some warm days this past winter, and I could sit on the deck, I remember telling my daughter the second week of April, I said, it's the second week of April and everything is still brown. There isn't, well, the pine trees were green. There is no green. It's usually so bright and green. A week later, everything was green. I don't even think it was a whole week, maybe 5 days. So the background is a bright green because everything was bright green by then. Oh, and I have seen on my deck, not just in the yard, deer. And I did think about putting the deer kind of peeking around the picture because I do have a deer head die. But I decided it just wasn't going to work with everything else. But I have seen deer on my deck. When I decided one day I'd use one of those hanging tomato plants, the deers ate them. I come home and boy, they about broke their neck getting off the deck. But I've seen raccoons on my deck plenty of times. Last summer it was twin baby raccoons. And oh my goodness, were they always fighting and getting into trouble. And let's see, possums, which I don't care much for. They're not near as cute as some of the other stuff. And coyote, which I didn't care for either. I was glad I was inside that day and not outside. But that's it, that's my layout. And a cute squirrel that comes to visit. Well, it might be a different one. Who knows? But I know Joanne feeds I think it's Joanne that feeds a chipmunk. Well, I put stuff on the rail, but I haven't never got that close to one. But if you leave a comment down there below, I'll try to get back with you. And if you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. And those of you already are, thank you so very much. And thank you all for watching my video today. I really appreciate that too. But make sure you check out all the links down there below and go to Anna's channel so you can get in on that giveaway and give her some love too while you're there and everybody else that's on the hop. But have a happy scrappy week. Have fun checking all these videos and layouts out. Bye.